Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest episode of the Human Factor Security podcast, where I am absolutely delighted to have finally managed to get one of the busiest people I've ever met in my life and a hero of mine. So welcome to the show, Vandana Verma. How are you?
I am really glad to be on this show. Thank you so much, Jenny. It's an honor to be on your show. It's
Oh,
like I was so excited when you asked me.
not at all, Vandana. The pleasure's mine. So the first thing I wanted to say, Vandana, was congratulations on yet more awards, including 2020 Cybersecurity Women Supporter of the Year.
Thank you so much. I have no words to say thanks.
So congratulations on your awards. For those people who don't know, do you want to just tell us quickly what it is that you do, where you work, who you really are? Because there's a lot to say.
Okay, so about me, I'm Vandana Verma, and I stay in India. Here in India, we are trying to bring more diversity in InfoSec. That's what I do with InfosecGirls. And apart from that, I work with the OWASP, which is Open Web Application Security Project. I started as a volunteer, became a chapter leader locally in Bangalore, India. But now I am on the global board of directors of OWASP. I'm one of the 7 board of directors where I have opinion on the board and I can share what I feel, how I want to grow a community. Like we are a community of over 500,000 people, and being on the board gives me more opportunity to connect India to the wider world. Apart from that, so that's not my full day job, but I work for IBM as a full-time, like that's my bread and butter, and mac and cheese, which I really love. Yeah.
When you talk about diversity, let's just look at that first of all, because I know you don't just mean women, do you? I mean, you mean full diversity, neurodiversity and that type of thing. I've seen you speak on that. So tell us a bit about that.
So we started off with a motive to bring more women to the meetups, but then I realized that this is not what we just want to do. Like that's not it, because that's just a small portion. So we started off bringing more students to it. Like we started reaching out to colleges, we started reaching out to schools. So we do a lot of programs for bringing cybersecurity kids into this particular domain. At least they should know what cybersecurity is, how they can safeguard themselves.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard you speak about age and things as well, and different educational backgrounds, because I guess the attackers they don't discriminate. That's what I always say, is attackers don't discriminate, right? So we need all kinds of different backgrounds and opinions to combat it.
Absolutely. And the kind of attacks that are happening, especially on the kids, like there are kidnapping cases, there are cyberbullying, cyber stalking, there's so much which is happening. So it is very important that they know what is good, what is bad, what they can do, what they shouldn't do. So it's very, very important.
And how has that been received in India at government level, at national level? Is this a priority?
Absolutely. That's an utter priority. There was one speech on Independence Day, which was given by our Prime Minister. And in that, it was specifically highlighted that we need our nation to be cyber safe. We need more people to know more about cybersecurity. So organizations have started running programs for schools. Like we just had today in the morning, I had a session for one of the colleges and schools in Bangalore, where we talked to over 300 people and told them about what cybersecurity is. And the theme was the photo speaks, or a picture speaks 1,000 words, which means if you share a picture and there's something in the background, there's so much information about people, where you are, can share a lot of information. So it's very, very important.
That's interesting, because they were looking at the OSINT aspect of security.
That's right. Absolutely. Because there was one instance recently which I realized, and the person shared that how I found my girlfriend whom I met in 2nd standard. That was like very annoying. Like the person is sharing all the OSINT skins. He's thinking that he's sharing good information, but then it was not good. So the person belonged to one of the organizations I know, or one of the communities I know, and we had to ask him to take down that blog. Yeah. It sounds funny in the beginning, but that's not funny. It's utterly bringing like doing OSINT, social engineering and whatnot. The person actually got information about where she stays, where she studies,
Yeah.
what's her father's voter like where they are going to vote, everything, like every minute detail.
Yeah, it can be very harmful. And I know that you review a lot of CFPs and things. Is this something that you see and come up on those CFPs as well? People wanting to talk about the wider threats, not just the sort of purely technical threats.
Absolutely. I have seen people submitting some very, very interesting thing which they found that can be harmful for the industry. Like if we don't fix it in time.
Yeah.
So those papers are really interesting, and how like the organization or how government agencies can be secured.
And so I know that this is a big passion of yours, and I know that you speak at so many conferences yourself. What's the sort of things that you're speaking about at the moment? What's on your radar at the moment is the first question. And the second question is, have you seen the pandemic impact the submissions for the online conferences? Are talks starting to be themed around COVID-19?
So I will tell you that, so the first thing first, wherein about my current theme or what I am submitting CFP around. So I've been researching around, so I'm working around application security, but I started off as a network person. Like I've configured firewalls, routers. I've even opened my home routers to see what's going on inside it, what are the things and what data I can fetch from. So I know good things about network. And then when I moved to application security, I started understanding how applications work. So I have good understanding of that, like a network, applications and cloud. So I mixed it up and I realized there's a term called zero trust, which started off like around 10 years back, but people are not trying to understand that this is important. So I am submitting CFP around zero trust, and I work for OWASP, like my pro bono work is with OWASP as well. So there are so many amazing projects, tools, documentation, which can help community grow, community learn about cybersecurity. So I am trying to be advocate about those projects. So I've given talks around running an AppSec program with open source tools, completely open source. You can, if you are a startup, looking for security, you can do that with that. So I gave a talk at DEF CON, AppSec Village, and about Zero Trust at Red Team Village. And there are a couple of other places, like recently RootConf was there from Philippines. So I gave a talk there. And now I'm going to give, so I've started a spotlight series for every project, like 15-minute spotlight where people get to know, okay, this is also the project. Oh, this is also, can be done with this project. That's a spotlight project. And the second question is that people are, or conferences are themed around. When the pandemic started around January, February, or March, I would say, people started doing the themes around pandemic, but now that started to getting fade away. Now every conference is online, so the theme is getting to go away. People have their own themes, people have their own way of going online with the speakers.
Because I've seen, I mean, I was looking at and sort of asked to look at some of the conferences that were picking up the way that the attackers are using some of the COVID scams and hacks in their attacks, right? And I saw that in India as well, but it was a few months ago, but I saw that there was exactly like we had in the UK, so promising like the phishing emails and the spear fishes based around coronavirus were just huge. And I know India had lots of that as well.
Absolutely. We had so many messages floating around saying that this is a URL where you can get information about the COVID patients. This is a URL where you can donate the money. Even funny fact was that there was one PM Cares fund where people were donating. It's a good cause that people are donating money, but then there were hawk IDs that were created to get the money. So fortunately, those were reported in time and those were blocked. But it was a big concern, wherein people were circulating some Excel sheets saying that here's the information about people who might be COVID positive just near your house, which was all false.
Yeah, it's so bad because it's not, it sort of extends to wider society. And it was like your point about your colleague and tracing someone online. It extends beyond the network into people's lives so easily and so dangerously, I think.
So people are losing jobs, people are losing money. So it's very, very important to be cyber aware and what's happening around us.
So Vandana,
not to trust anything and everything.
Absolutely. So we have not got the best connection, Vandana, at the moment. So I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions and then let you go and carry on with your very busy day. But I was going to say, you know, this is the human factor. And obviously we're mostly interested in social engineering and the human side of things. After all your experience in the market and in the industry, do you still think that the human side of things and social engineering is as important? And particularly in zero trust, is it as important in zero trust as it always was?
I would say it is now more important to have zero trust and social engineering practices, or to be aware of social engineering practices, because if we don't know about them, we can never be secure. The fun fact is, especially when we are online, everything is on cloud. It even becomes really important to follow these practices. We might be following some practices from the beginning, but now when we know that there are no four walls where you are in, you're home, you're in a moving car, and you're connecting to the office. So how would you make sure that your office is secure? And for organization, their data is like an oil. If it's spilled, that means you're hacked. You know where to go.
Yeah. I mean, the zero trust thing for me was the best concept around controlling insider threat. And from a social engineering point of view, we're trying to get someone on the inside all the time to work against the organization. And that least privilege model, that trust no one model, to me sounded very something that could be made very effective, really. So I was so interested that you were talking about that, because so are we in the social engineering side these days. It's a huge, I don't think it's perfect, but I think as a philosophy, it goes the right way, you know?
Absolutely. And it goes the right way, wherein earlier we were not concentrating more on identities. Like identities could be important. But now with zero trust, it says that go ahead and get your identities right first. Have a single sign-on, have a federated identities, have multi-factor authentication enabled, push notification, biometrics. It's important.
But I think as well, a lot of people struggle because of the legacy systems. I think it's very difficult to take something off someone that they used to have. You see the cultural fight back when you try and put zero trust in when they've had it before. Different if it's greenfield and you're just installing it now, but to take it away from someone, that causes so many problems internally, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's always a tiff with that. Like it's really, really hard to let people understand that it's important that we do all of that. Like if we don't secure our own network, we might be susceptible to all the attacks that we've been hearing. And there was one study I was going through wherein it says that if an organization gets hacked once, I'm talking about once, they don't get hacked once, but that happened like a couple of times in the years. And that's what happened with Equifax. That's what happened with a couple of other organizations. So it's important to understand your own posture, understand who the users are, where the data is going, where the data is flowing, and who's accessing what. And if you don't make the boundaries, nothing can be done. Understand what the devices are. And I remember there was one organization, they adopted this zero trust concept. They created their own Beyond Corp, and like the architecture is so well that you can log in from anywhere and everywhere, but then still your infrastructure is secure.
Yeah. Well, listen, Vandana, given the difficulties of communication and everything, I am so pleased that you managed to come in, and we just managed to get this short chat. Let me ask you before you go, what is your vision for the future? Where do you think the industry is going in India, and for women in India and girls? I mean, are you optimistic? What's happening? What's going to happen the next few years?
So it's very, very important to have role models. If we don't have role models, we cannot do anything. We cannot strive in the industry. Right. If we don't know where to go, like when I was starting off, I did not know that this is important, where to go, or what to do next. I was just working on that this is, I was working on, okay, this is my office work, I'm going to get done, and that's all. But when I was introduced to the communities, I realized that there are people who are working so much good. There's so much insecurity to learn. So from those role models, I grew myself, and now I have an opportunity to grow, to uplift others. And I am sure that we will have so many role models in India coming forward and coming future. And I can already see that there are so many. So
And
absolutely, I'm so much optimistic about it.
And you've contributed to that a lot. I heard you say that it was when you turned up to sort of community meetings and things. Where do you stand and who do you stand next to? And when you started out, you were sometimes the only woman in the room. So you've kind of addressed that as best you could, right?
Yeah, that's right. Like when I used to go to the meetups, I used to be the only person sometimes. And that was intimidating. Not that somebody was doing it. It was me who was feeling that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but after a couple of months, I realized that either you stay back and stay quiet, or take a step further and be the change which you want to see. So I think that's what made me take a step further, and all the people around me in the community helped, and I sailed through. So it was not only my effort, but the people around me helped me in taking the steps further, and I still owe them big time. Like every time I meet them, and I have all the regards for them.
No. Well, Vandana, you've been amazing. You're such a role model for your whole country, really, in this. And I've been dying to speak to you for a long time. It's a shame that we can't get the comms a little bit better, but we knew it'd be an issue. But for now, I just want to say thanks for this short chat. And then hopefully when the pandemic's gone, I'll meet you in person soon in India.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to be on your show, and I'm so sorry about the internet connection. Sometimes...
No, it's fine, you know, and the pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much for being part of the show, Vandana Verma.
Thank you.